Hello everyone, this is Paukshte Fashion Workshop. I remind you that we post new videos every day. I also want to remind you that some of my video courses are already available. Buy them if you haven't done it yet. I would really appreciate your support. Today I'd like to talk to you about dresses. As I've said in the previous video, dress is a base of a women's wardrobe. Today, I'd like to show you how to make an interesting dress with the draping. It's important to have different dresses for all seasons and different occasions. Thanks to our lessons, you already have an idea of how to make draping. At least I hope so. The dress I'm going to show you today is also with the draping. I've already shown you a lot of different designs, but this one is new. You know that I love draping. I hope that you do too. Have a look at the sketch. As usual, I wanted to be creative. I don't want you to make exactly the same dresses as I show you. You can change the designs however you want. You can place the draping however you want. You can change the neckline, the sleeves. Add different interesting details. Anyway, let's have a look at the sketch. There is a boat neck here. There are cap sleeves here. You can make it sleeveless. You can make a long dress with a slit on the back. You can make long sleeves. It's up to you. The most important thing is to learn how to make the draping. If you learn it and practice, you'll be able to make different garments with draping without any problems. Practice makes perfect. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pattern for this dress. I'll also show you how to make a draping right on the dummy. I'm going to make pleats. You can make a gather. The gather looks better when it's made of knitted fabric. Anyway, I prefer pleated garments. This is going to be a knee-level shape dress, which is tied at the bottom. I'll be working with Ira's basic pattern. I'll just make a mock-up and put it on the dummy. As I've said, I'll show you how to make a draping right on the dummy. I can put the sketch aside. I've already traced the basic pattern, so I can move it aside as well. The basic patterns I show you are made on the basis of the 10 measurement cutting system. My course on the 10 measurement cutting system is already available. Having bought the course, you'll be able to make a perfect basic pattern according to your own measurements. I need to cut the pattern for the front. Notice that the tracing paper is folded in half. So I'm making a full-size pattern. If you learn how to make a draping, you'll be able to make a lot of different garments with it. I need to cut the armhole next. Notice that I'm not changing anything. I just cut the details according to the basic pattern. I'd like to pay attention to the fact that it's very important to make sure that your basic pattern is accurate. Please, do it. Change it if necessary before you make a garment with draping. It's very hard to alter a draped garment. If it's your first draped garment, don't make complicated draping. I suggest starting with a simple design. I'll show you how to move the darts and tucks and make an extension for the draping. Do not think that to look good, you need to buy garments of complicated designs. It's not true. I've already told you that simple designs are also very beautiful. Draping itself is complicated enough. Be very attentive. This is the front of the basic pattern. I need to draw the center front and the waistline. This is the center front. This is the waistline. Let's have a look at the sketch once again. Be very attentive, please. Next, I need to draw this side detail on the pattern. It runs down from the armhole to the hip. This is the detail I'm talking about. In our case, this detail is pretty tight. You can make it wider. As I've said, you can change the design however you want. I need to measure and mark 8 cm from the side seam on the waistline. Starting from this point, draw the lines to the armhole and the hip. This is where this detail crosses the waistline. Next, I need to move the opening of the waist tuck to this detail. I'll outline it. I need to cut the shaded piece. Do not forget to sign the detail. The right side, the right side. The side detail is on the left, and the draping will be on the right. Make sure not to confuse the wrong and the right sides when you are making asymmetric garments. This is very important. Have a look at the pattern. This is the front. This is the side detail. I need to mark the waistline in the details. These are the checkpoints. They have to match. Next, I need to move the opening of the chest dart. I want to make a cut here and close the original opening. You can move it wherever you want. I couldn't start working with the neckline before the opening of the chest dart was moved. I've moved just one of the two chest darts. Next, I want to cut the waistline. I need to make a small opening here. Have a look here. I remind you that this is the opening of the chest dart. Next, I need to make one more cut here, towards the top point of the waist tuck. When it's done, I need to close the opening of the waist tuck. There are two openings here now. I need to fix the details. I've already shown you different types of drapings. When I finish working with the darts and tucks, I'll show you how to add some more for the draping. Next, I need to make one more opening here. It should go to the dart top. This one. Be very attentive, please. Do not waste time trying to calculate anything. Cut the details by sight. This is the opening of the chest dart. I need to move it here. This is where the opening is now. Be very attentive, please. Be very attentive, please. Next, I need to make one more cut here. It should run right to the top of the waist tuck. Close the opening of the tuck and move it here as well. Have a look here. The waist tuck, the chest dart, the waist tuck, the chest dart. I need to close the original opening. The bodice is almost ready. Let's have a look at the skirt. I need to close this opening first. I need to cut the pattern below the waistline and close this tuck. I wish I had someone to show me these techniques when I was learning to sew. You're lucky to have an opportunity to learn from our videos. I really hope that they inspire you to be creative and make different garments. I'm sure that wearing such dress, you would look unusual and stylish. I want you to be creative, and I want you to learn to use your imagination. We need to be different and beautiful every day. Next, I need to move the opening of the last tuck. Be very attentive, please. I've made the side detail. I closed all of the original darts and tucks. I also cut the bodice and the skirt apart. There will be a pleat on the waistline and 4 pleats made of the tucks and darts. I'd like to extend the pattern even more to make more pleats. I want to make about 3 or 2 more cuts. First one will run from this point to the armhole. I'm not going to make a big opening here. You can extend it more if you like to. I think that it's enough. When I cut the fabric, I'll show you how to make the draping right on the dummy. I want to make one more opening here. As I've said, I don't want the draping to be big, but I want it to be beautiful. I don't recommend you making the pleats or gathers according to this pattern. They won't look beautiful. It's better to make them at the fitting. I'll make one more opening here. This is the waistline. Do not forget about it. It's very important. The waistline on the back and the front should match. This is a must. Do not forget about the checkpoints. If you don't mark them, you won't be able to make an accurate garment. I've already made 3 openings, and I want to make one more in the skirt. I don't want to make the pleats to the bottom. I'm going to pin the pattern to the fabric later. But first, I need to alter the neckline. Be very attentive. I remind you that I haven't removed the tucks. They were just moved to the draping. The dress will fit me perfectly on the waistline. Let's have a look at the neckline. I want the shoulders to be about 5 or 4 centimeters wide. I need to draw the neckline and cut it. Do not forget to cut an extra piece from the shoulder. It should be done because we moved the opening of the chest dart. Have a look at this beautiful boat neck. The shoulders are pretty tight. It's up to you whether to make the sleeves or not. Be very attentive. When cutting, you should pin the pattern face up to the right side on the fabric, or vice versa. Put the pattern face down to the wrong side of the fabric. I prefer the first option. Be very attentive, please. It's very important to pin the center front of the skirt to the lengthwise grain. I'll sign it. Otherwise, the bottom wouldn't look good. You should always follow the main rules and mind the lengthwise grain. Think about such things in advance. The center front in the skirt should be cut on the lengthwise grain and the bottom on the crosswise grain. I need to pin this part first. Be very attentive. The fabric is put on the table right side up, as well as the pattern. I remind you that knitted fabric is good for draping. And it's better to make pleats of fabrics which do not stretch. It's also possible to make a waist seam. In this case, the center front of the body should be cut on the lengthwise grain as well. In my case, the front is going to be one piece. I really hope that this video will inspire you to make different garments with draping. Next, I need to cut the side detail. Do not forget about the lengthwise grain. It should be cut this way. This is the crosswise grain. The pattern is ready. I'll show you how to cut the details and how to make draping in the next video. I really hope that you find this idea interesting, and it will inspire you to make unusual cocktail or evening dresses with draping. Be different and beautiful. My name is Irina Paukshte. Buy my courses, subscribe to my channel, write comments, share the videos, press the like and the bell buttons. I would really appreciate your support. Thank you. Goodbye.